Welcome in, Retriever Nation. We are doing our 2022 Women's Lacrosse Preview. We're so glad to have head coach Amy Slade with us. To her right is junior Claire Bockstie. To her left is sophomore Kennedy Evans. And ladies, thank you so much. I know we just came off the practice field, so I'm sure you're glad to be in the warmth of the media room here, but really appreciate you being here with us. And Coach, we'll start off with you. Last year you come off a solid season, a playoff appearance in the league. But talk about, this fall and winter and compare it to kind of the difficulties you guys went through last fall and winter dealing with the myriad of COVID issues what we had. It's not gone, but certainly I'm assuming this fall and winter had to go a lot smoother than last year did.
Actually, we had a pretty good fall and season. We didn't have any bumps in the road in terms of scheduling and whatnot. Obviously, we played a lighter game schedule, but I think that really helped us grow and learn that less is more, right? So you don't need to have this massive schedule where you're playing 2 days a week and just running yourselves ragged. I think we've really been able as a coaching staff to develop practices and make sure that we're giving the players what they need but not overdoing it. And the same thing when it comes to games and scheduling, making sure that we're getting our good amount of games in but not making sure that we're running them ragged so that come tournament time we are fresh and we're ready to go. And that has been a really good lesson I think we've learned as a coaching staff. And I don't know if these two ladies agree, but based off of their performances, I think that worked.
Coach, your offense really produced at a very high level, especially in the stretch run last year. A lot of that firepower returns. I know you have some really impressive newcomers, but talk about your expectations on the offensive end of the field for 2022.
I think we want to get creative, right? We want to use a lot of different options. We don't want to be readable, right? So we want to be able to make sure that we can attack from all angles of the field on the attacking end. We want to make sure that everyone plays a role. And so if you think that you can stop a Claire, there's an Olivia. If you think you can stop an Olivia, there's a Diamond. And then just keep going on down that line. So to have 7 really aggressive attacking threats is hard to mark up against. So if we could have seasons where, we have multiple attackers with multiple goals and assists, then you're going to be a hard team to mark and to scout. And that's really what we're out for.
Claire, I'd like you to kind of play off that. You had a tremendous year in 2021. First team all-conference. You scored 42 goals, including an 8-point effort in the playoff game against Stony Brook. I want you to talk about your success, but also talk about it in the context of you're a four-sport athlete in high school and how that maybe has helped you on the lacrosse field at the collegiate level.
Playing a lot of different sports in high school, growing up, has allowed me to be really versatile in my playing. Basketball really transitions into lacrosse. It's a very similar sport, so it also helps me on the defensive end, and being more creative on the field.
What are you seeing out there on the practice field? As you guys are only 10, 11 days away from your first game. As I mentioned to Coach Slade, a lot of firepower returning, but a lot of impressive newcomers. What are you seeing out there as you guys are getting ready for that first game in a couple weeks?
Yeah, we have a really, I think, young team, and we have a lot to learn and grow. Obviously, a lot of people are connecting really easily on the field, and it's just helping us be more successful in the field and getting to know each other as players.
Amy, talk about Claire, what she means to your team.
Yeah, Claire is definitely, I'm going to call her the party starter. She's the hard dodger that really gets the defense to move and shift, and she's really powerful, right? The Claire train's coming through, so she's able to really, like she said, develop some really versatile things on the attacking end, whether it's a little bit more of a finesse game or just really continuing to grow her power game. And I think that's what's made her so successful, especially last year, is just the growth that she's had in the last couple of years. And each year she's adding something new to her game, which is creating a different dynamic. And when you're a dynamic player, you're hard to mark. And so I think, if a team shuts off one thing, she resorts to another. And so no game is she ever down and out. She just really kind of reinvents herself within that game, which has made her really successful.
I'm going to ask you to talk about the lady on your left. Kennedy Evans, as a freshman, started every single game last year. Again, talk about what she means to your club.
Yeah, she's fearless, right? That ball is up on the draw circle, and 9 out of 10 times I'm if it's coming to Kennedy, she's going to get it. And the only time she didn't get it is maybe because someone fouled her, then she'll get it anyway. She's just fearless. She runs through everything. She runs through brick walls. Just a little insider. She's my little worry wart here, but on the field, you would never know. You're literally a demon on the field. You are too Jekyll and Hyde for sure. But she really elevates our level of play. There was one time in last season when we were in Vermont, I think it was, where we just needed a couple of draws, and we were like, oh, Kennedy, and she just kept getting us the ball back, which would allow us to do our thing on the attacking end. So I think, in terms of that, she's really invaluable, and so she's done a great job these last year and a little bit, really growing as a player.
Kennedy, obviously, we mentioned you had a tremendous year in 2021, started all the games. You're kind of almost like a Swiss Army knife to being able to do a little bit of everything really, really well. But, now you're in your second year. Talk about how more comfortable you are year 2 compared to year 1.
Yeah, I think last year was definitely difficult with COVID in the way and just being a freshman, the jitters and anxiety and everything. But this year I feel just being on a team that's so tight knit and we have such good chemistry. And I also feel playing last year, I'm more confident, I know my place, and I feel that also comes with being a leader, and I feel that's what I can be for this team. So I'm really excited to be able to contribute that.
Kennedy, defense is so much about communication. You have an experienced goalkeeper in the back in Lexi, but talk about how you think your communication is going out there in the field in this spring as you lead up to game 1.
Yeah, like Amy and Claire said, we're a really young team, but I think that doesn't really matter necessarily with communication. I think that all levels, of whether you're a freshman or a senior, communication comes a long way, and I think that we have a really young defense, and even the freshmen, I have their back, I know they have my back, and I think communication is just something that we really try to emphasize and really work on all the time, and I think there hasn't been necessarily any issues with that, and I'm really excited to work with everyone and continue being able to be very communicative with them.
Okay, I'm going to ask both you ladies, both the players, about not the most ideal situation. Obviously, you want to be on your home turf where you practice every single day, but given the fact we have an $8 million stadium construction project going on, that's not going to happen this year, and you guys are going to be on the grass, the Bermuda grass of Retriever Soccer Park. Talk about, I'm not sure the last time you guys played on grass, but Kennedy, talk about what that experience you're anticipating it might look like.
Yeah, so I played on grass most of my high school career, so I am excited to go back to it just to kind of see, and I think our team is very good at handling whatever's given to them. I don't think that's going to be an issue at all, so I'm really excited for that. I think it will be different, but not a bad different, but something very good and something for us to embrace as a team.
Claire, what about from your perspective?
Yeah, I haven't played on grass in a while, maybe since freshman year of high school, but I think it's gonna be very exciting. The stadium itself is just enormous. It looks cooler to play on, and I think it's gonna be very exciting this year.
I imagine you guys have seen some soccer games played
Yes.
on the field. Amy, we'll wrap it up with you. The league coaches gave you guys a tremendous amount of respect, picking you guys 2 behind the Stony Brook team, which is perennially a top 10 team. Obviously, that's a different expectation level than maybe your guys are used to. How is the team handling that at this juncture?
Honestly, we haven't really talked about it. It's just really a number you still have to perform. You see the high seed get beat all the time in sports as we're sitting here. That's very ironic. But so I think for us, we just have to control our own destiny, right? Every day and every practice and every game, we want to be the best UMBC women's lacrosse team we can be. And sometimes the best team doesn't always win. It's the team that plays the best. And so there's going to be teams that we play that are ranked higher than us, and there's going to be teams that we play that are ranked lower than us. And certainly you can beat those teams and lose to those teams if you don't come out and be the best team that you are and can be. So I think our focus is really just around being the best UMBC women's lacrosse team. These girls work tremendously hard. They don't waste time. In drill to drill, they are constantly focused and hustle in between. So I feel really good about what we have to put out there. I think we're all excited to get over this hump of preseason. It's usually a little bit longer. I mean, it feels like it's only been 2 weeks, but it feels like 2 months. So I'm excited to see what these ladies have to put out in the field.
Once again, the ladies open up against Longwood at Retriever Soccer Park, Saturday, February 12th at 2 p.m. Coach Slade, Claire, Kenny, we appreciate your time and best of luck on the season.
Thank you.
Thank you.